Hi and welcome along to another Arsenal Fan TV Transfer Daily, the show where we take a look at the players that have been linked with a summer move to Arsenal Football Club. And there's only one place where we can go to today, and that is this story about Carlos Vela. It all blew up last night. It was all over social media about the fact that Arsenal have apparently told Real Sociedad that they want to re-sign Carlos Vela. Of course, Arsenal have got this buyback clause where when they sold Carlos Vela to Real Sociedad, they wrote this in that they can buy him back for £3.5 million. Now, it's a very, very smart move by Arsenal, similar to what they done with Fabregas. And now it looks like, according to what a lot of the media outlets are saying, that Arsenal have decided that they want Vela back. They think that Vela will be a good signing for them. He didn't work the first time around at Arsenal, but they've seen his goal-scoring record in La Liga, where he's been a big hit. Let's face it, he scored a total of 44 goals in 3 seasons. He's had a particularly good season this year for Real Sociedad, and you know, he's sort of realising the potential and what Arsenal thought he had when they brought him to the Emirates. And all the reports are that Arsenal, every single newspaper today, all reporting that Arsenal want to bring him back, want to re-sign him. As I've said a couple of times on this show, I don't know, it's a little bit underwhelming to me. Carlos Vela, when he was at Arsenal before, don't get me wrong, really, really talented footballer, but never really kicked it off. But could it be another sort of situation like what's happened with Chelsea and Matic, where they sold a player, and then when they've sold him now, they've realised that, hey, actually, you know what, we've made a mistake here. This guy is actually a very talented player, and he's going to do very, very well for our club, so let's go and get it back. Is it a situation like that? The other thing that is very interesting about that is that I can hear fans already saying, well, if you're buying back Carlos Vela in this buyback clause, why not go and buy back Cesc Fabregas? Much better player. We've got a buyback clause. Why don't we go and get him? I suppose the argument there is, of course, that we've got lots of players in that position of midfield, and when it comes to strikers, we are lacking. And if we can get Carlos Vela, a player that, by the way, that is valued now at £20 million because of the successes that he's had in La Liga, if we can get him back for 3.5 million, I suppose it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, even if it was a thing that we bought him back and he didn't work and then we sold him on again, we're not going to lose any money. I also, it was yesterday, thought to myself, let me explore these quotes a bit deeper, because every newspaper has just gone with the top line quote, what was said by the Real Sociedad president. I wanted to sort of explore it a bit more and see exactly what he said. So I've got it written here. So it's a Real Sociedad president. His name's called Joaquin Aperebe, and he quoted in a Spanish media outlet, Cadena Ser. This is the exact quote, all right? He said, Arsenal have told us that they're interested in the player, which of course is Vela, and we have to think on that, right? That's what he said. The player wants to continue here. Now, that's very telling. The player wants to continue here in San Sebastian, and this is an important point for us. There are no discussions in this regard, and therefore it is difficult to talk about whether we will be near or far. And he said, we will see in the near future if we go a little and accomplish something for Real. So that tells me, by reading the whole quote, and not just the top line, a lot of outlets have just sort of quoted, and the quote where he said, Arsenal told us that they're interested in the player. Now, as listening to what I've just read there, that suggests to me that they are going to do as much as they can to keep Vela, and that it's not a done deal yet that Carlos Vela is going to be coming back to Arsenal. Another thing very telling in there, what the president said, is that the player wants to continue here at San Sebastian. So that shows me that Vela doesn't want to come to Arsenal. And indeed, there was another quote from Carlos Vela a few days ago where he spoke to BIN Sports, and he said, this is Carlos Vela's quotes again. He said, I never felt comfortable in London and I never enjoyed it. However, when I got to San Sebastian, which of course is Real Sociedad, I found a place where I was very happy, where I'm enjoying myself every day. Now, looking into that, you've got a player basically that's saying, I didn't enjoy my time in London and I'm really, really happy playing for Real Sociedad. You've got the club that, from those quotes from the president, obviously want to keep him and not giving up on it yet. Remember, as I said, in that quote, he says there are no discussions in this regard, right? A lot of, as I said, a lot of media outlets have been quoting that discussions and it's like, almost like a done deal. He's saying there's no discussions in this regard, and therefore it's difficult to talk about whether we would be near or far. We will see in the near future if we go a little and accomplish something for Real. That suggests to me that Sociedad might try and offer more money to keep hold of the player. The player wants to stay at Real Sociedad. So I don't think we should take it as gospel, like it's been quoted a lot of places, that Carlos Vela is definitely going to be coming back to Arsenal. But, of course, Arsenal are definitely interested in bringing Vela back. Or are they sort of using it to sort of say, right, we're going to take him back so that they can then go on and negotiate for, say, Griezmann, who also plays for Real Sociedad. He's just what we need. He plays on that left side of midfield. He's a winger. We need that winger. He's a French international. You're going to see at the World Cup, he's going to be a big star in this World Cup. Is it a negotiating point for Griezmann? And indeed, there's somebody who's sent in a comment here. That's Ryan Purchase. He said, I would rather have Griezmann than Vela, to be honest. And I kind of feel the same way. I think that Griezmann is just the sort of player we need. So what I'm saying here is don't take it as a done deal. Don't take it as a done deal. I think there's a lot more negotiations to go on here. And I don't know, if the player's saying himself that I was never happy in London and I was never happy here, I don't know. Are we going to bring him back? I don't know if that is going to happen. We're going to have to wait and see. And we've got a poll on our website, actually, arsenalfantv.com. We've got a poll on our website, and it is, do you want Carlos Vela to re-sign for Arsenal, yes or no? Go and vote in that, and I'll get the reactions and find out tomorrow how you feel about it. As I said yesterday, drawing nearer to the World Cup, the rumours are getting less and less and less. There is another rumour in town today, and that's about Victor Valdes, who's the goalkeeper who plays for Barcelona, and of course he's out at the moment, injured. His Barcelona contract has come to an end, and it was almost certain that he was going to be signing for Monaco, but apparently now Monaco are cooling on the deal, and that may not happen. And he's been heavily linked today with moves to Manchester City and also to Arsenal, of course, probably because both of us need keepers, but he's been heavily linked to us. I mean, he is an experienced keeper, but again, would he come into play second fiddle to Szczesny? A keeper of his stature, a keeper of his age is going to want to play week in, week out. So again, I find that one a bit unlikely that we would move him for Victor Valdes, but he is being linked with a move to Arsenal today. Let me just get into a couple of the comments before we go here. J Marby says, for that money, it's worth the risk. Of course, he's talking about Carlos Vela, and he, as far as he's concerned, for 3.5 million, why not? You know, it is very cheap, you know, to get a striker of that quality. Why not? It's not like where Chelsea had to pay massive amounts to bring back Matic. This would be a pretty cheap way of getting him back in. Jatinda says Vela would be a good addition to our squad for 3.2 million. Nevertheless, as we need at least 4 strikers at the club, he said, even if this doesn't work out, we should still be able to sell him for a lot more money in January, sign him up. Football Surreal says, hey Robbie, what goalkeeper do we need to replace Fabianski? Any ideas? The keeper I'd like to see come in, me personally, if you ask me my personal opinion, I'd say John Ruddy of Norwich, I think, would be an excellent keeper to bring in to give some great competition, and also to know that if Szczesny messes up or if Szczesny's off form, we're bringing in a quality keeper behind him. So my first choice would be John Ruddy, but I'm not Arsene Wenger. Not says, Robbie, Vela has failed at Arsenal once, so you really think he will improve or do you think he will fold again? It's really hard to judge. I mean, listen, he has done really, really well over there in Spain, and it's a bit like the Matic, as I said, it could be a bit like the Matic situation where, you know, the player's gone and then they've realised that actually his talent now, what we thought he had, we are now seeing this at another club. Let's bring him back. It might be a situation like that. Ross James says, we could buy Vela for 3.5 million and then sell him on and make a profit. You sound like an Arsenal board member, mate. And let me see if I can find a couple more here. Knots again says, who would you rather have, Robbie? He's asked me a lot of questions here. Balotelli, Remy, or Lukaku? Ooh, you know what? I'd love to see Balotelli. I don't know what it is, right? I would just love to see Balotelli coming to Arsenal. He'd create a lot of excitement around the place. That midfield would supply him with so much that I just think that he would be absolutely fantastic if he came to Arsenal. But you know what? Either of those other two, Lukaku would be great as well. I don't know. Remy, I think, would be great, but we need Remy plus another. Is that another going to be Carlos Vela? That's what we're going to have to wait and see. Last couple here. Kosidenemna, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He said, if we get Vela, we still need a 30 goal a season striker. Very hard to get a 30 goal a season striker, mate. And Terry Tibbs, I'll leave it with Terry Tibbs. He just simply says Carlos Vela. As I said, let us know what you think. Go to our website, arsenalfantv.com, and vote in our poll. Do you want Carlos Vela at Arsenal? Yes or no? And also look out for some excellent videos we've got coming out today. We've got this video coming out, 10 players that are playing at the World Cup that Arsenal should go out there and sign, all right? 10 players playing at the World Cup that Arsenal should go out there and sign. Check out that video that's coming up very shortly. But thanks very much for watching the Arsenal Fan TV Transfer Daily. We'll be back tomorrow with some more transfer rumours.